I can set it up so that she does the right thing, the chances of us getting along and getting this done are going to be so much greater. I'm really quite surprised that, well, see that's, there we go. There. Oops. I'm just going to keep pushing on her here a minute and let her figure it out there. And good. So that's all I'm going to do to that. If I was working with a horse, I'd probably do that 75, 100 times until I got her moving all around. But she just did good for me, so I'm going to let her, I'm going to quit pushing her around right there. Anytime you take a break with your mule, you ask him to do something, use that resting time to touch him and get him used to being handled. That desensitizes them. This is what makes you end up with a real quiet mule. If you spend the time to do the little things, handling the ears, handling the inside of the ears, handling the lips, touching the back here by the flanks, all those things that are sometimes problems will be easy to fix if you do those things every time you give the mule a break. I've been able to lock the back end down just a little bit for a step or two and move the front end. Now I want the front end to stay stationary and the back end to move over. And I'm after the same thing. I want if I'm pushing from this side, from the right hand side of the mule, I want the right leg to cross in front of the left leg. And for the front end to stay still. So the way I'm going to do this is real simple. I'm going to give her a little tug on her head. I'm going to push back here by the haunches. And see, she's pushing into me. That's a typical response that you'll get from a mule. You see the way she spread her legs like that and braced? That's why we need to teach that's why we need to teach these animals to move off of pressure, because they tend to be into pressure animals. A mule isn't as likely to run away from pressure as a horse is. She's just bending her, there, perfect. There. And did you notice the second she took a step, I stopped putting any pressure on. Now she's going to be a fun mule to work with. Now let me warn you in advance, if I was right here with a horse, I'd feel like I was probably all right. But if she wanted to kick me, she could nail me hard from here. She could kick me right in the stomach right now. So there's a lot more of a risk of getting kicked when you're working with a mule. Just keep that in mind. There, perfect. Boy, she's gonna, well, hopefully everything goes as easy as this. And so to keep her from moving forward, I'm going to bring her nose around. She just swatted her tail at me like she wasn't very happy with what was going on. Let me move her out here just a little bit. Pull her head around a little bit, give her some thumb pressure, and step her across. That was perfect. 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 See how that outside leg crossing in front? It's not crossing all the way, but it's going in front. That's not. There we go. Good. 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 Yeah, that was really good. So I'm going to move to the other side because I got the result I was after. And let's just see what we have over here. Again, set her up to succeed. When she turns, she's going to need that head turned around. I'm going to pull that. She wants the back, so I'm going to. Okay, I've got the head around a little bit. Looked like she wanted to bite my hand, so I'm not going to fuss over that. Perfect. Perfect. That's what I was after. That hind end disengaging, coming around the front end. Try it again. Perfect. That wasn't quite as good. There we go. Not perfect, but I put a little pressure on her and she moved off, so I'm going to be okay with that. the beginning. That's the very fundamental basics of training your mule, be it a good saddle mule or a driver mule or anything. It's just being able to move them off of your pressure. When you're on their back, you're going to be moving off of your seat. They're going to be moving off the leg pressure. They're going to be moving off the pressure from the halter, the bit, or the hackamore, whatever process or whatever phase we're in. And anything that we can do on the ground here to teach them to move off of our pressure, or off of the pressure that we apply, is going to help, or it's going to pave the way for what we're going to need to do in the saddle. So I'm going to do the same thing here with some pressure and see if I can get her to move backwards off of my feel. I'm just going to put my hand on her nose here. She's not real happy about it, so I'm just going to put a little bit of pressure on either side and push back. Okay. She didn't like that. But what I wanted to do, she's getting a little irritated, or the flies are bothering her, one of the two. But I want to be able to push on this mule there in any direction and have her move off of my pressure. Now I can move her backwards off the field. I can move her front end. It's not perfect, but she's moving away from the pressure that I'm applying. And that's the beginning. I'm not going to edit that out. I'm going to leave that in to show everybody that I got lucky there. She didn't like what I was doing. Really nailed me. That was more of a warning. But we're going to do it again, and I'm going to put myself in a better that doesn't happen, or hopefully. So I'm going to try to stay up here closer to her head a little bit. Move her around. That's perfect. Okay, good girl. Now things like that come up when you're training animals, and a lot of times you watch videos or whatever and you just don't see that kind of stuff. It looks like it all goes perfect. That was a response that you can sometimes get, and oftentimes you do get. More than that, it was my mistake. That was in the wrong spot. So I'm going to stay up here a little bit, put some pressure on her, and she moved away. Okay, that was good. That was good, girl. Let's try it again, because this was the side that gave some trouble. I'm staying up front again. Oh, she acted like she might like to do it. So I'm going to stay up here at front where I'm safe. Let me move away so you can see that. See it? Let me rub her back here now. I want them to get to the point that they anticipate what you're going to do. And by that I mean, if she thinks that every time I'm standing back here, she's going to get poked on and have to move around, well then she's not going to be paying attention to my cues. She's just going to be anticipating what's going to happen, and she's going to do it on her own. Yeah. Okay, that's good enough.